Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. I think I got about 6 or 7 of them up. So this is another one. Hopefully this will be a shorter video. I keep talking on and on. I don't want to burn up too much time. But this is about how to get around in China. Not flying or anything like that, but more locally. Once you're in your town, how do you get around? So first of all, you're going to walk a lot. I mean, you're going to walk almost, unless you live in New York City or London, you're not going to walk as much as you do in China. It's just, most of it is just, you walk down to the store, you walk back. It's not get in your car culture like it is in the States. You go shopping, well, let's hop in the car. No, here you see people, they're carrying grocery bags, 20, 30-minute walk just to go shopping. So you're going to walk a lot. Pack comfortable shoes, pack good socks. Don't get here and buy thin socks that are going to burn up on your feet, and cause blisters and stuff. Just get some good socks and shoes. I would say I walk probably 4 miles a day on average. Some days it goes as high as 8 to 10 miles. Actually, today I walked a solid hour and 45 minutes back to my apartment because there were no taxis during rush hour. So it happens sometimes. You just got to be ready for it. I just put my earphones in, listen to music, and I go. So taxis are fairly cheap here. In my city, they run about $1 US or about 6 to 7 renminbi for the first 2 to 3 miles. And I can go from one end of the city for the most part to the other end of the city. And remember, this is a city of 3 million for about $5, $6. Okay, if there's no traffic, you can just boom, $5. Now, the longer you're in the cab, the more it's going to be if there's traffic. Now, prices vary from city to city. I know in Beijing it's a lot more. Shanghai it's a lot more. Just you'll learn the rates and stuff. Tip is, make sure when you get in the cab and you tell them, show them in Chinese if you can't speak. This is where I need to go. And they'll tell you, they'll put the meter down. Make sure they put the meter down and the meter's running. I had an overnight layover in, I think, Tianjin, if I'm not mistaken, and I was flying back from Thailand, and I had to stay overnight in this hotel near the airport, literally within 5 to 6 minutes drive of the airport. And I was tired from the flight, wasn't paying attention. He didn't put the meter down. We got to the hotel and he says it's 100 renminbi, which is like $15. And he didn't even realize that I, understood any Chinese or whatever. He just thought I was a tourist from the U.S. He didn't realize I lived in China. So I started yelling at him and I threw 10 renminbi at him and I said, "That's all you're going to get." And he was like, "Okay." But just be aware, pay attention. They do have car services like Uber. It's called Didi. You load the app and it works exactly like Uber, and the rates are comparable to the taxis, a little more. It depends, so where you are and stuff like that. They also have something called black cars, and these are basically people driving around the city and they're looking for people waiting for taxis, and they'll pull up, they'll honk the horn, and you tell them where you want to go, and they'll say, "Oh, it's 10 renminbi or 20 renminbi or 50 or whatever," and you just get in the car and they take you where you want to go. Now, as a foreigner, it's the driver who designates the price. He's going to say this amount, so you don't know if that's a fair amount or not. So this is pretty much, go at your own risk with this type of thing. But generally, I've taken them. I've never had trouble. They get in the car, and because I'm familiar with how much taxis cost, if they say 30 and I know a taxi is 15, I'll say, "Look, 20 is all I'm going to pay." They're going to be a little bit more, usually like 20% more than a taxi. But, bad weather and so forth, that'll go up. Technically, from what I've heard, these are illegal because they're unlicensed, drivers. They're taxi drivers. They have a car and a license, but they're not licensed to do that, so technically they're illegal. Bike rentals, you can load an app or use through WeChat and rent a bike, and it's charged either by the half hour, by time, or by distance. It depends on the bike service. I've never done it myself. Driving, you can drive in China if you have a Chinese driver's license. It doesn't matter what type of driver's license you have from anywhere in the world, it's useless in China. You can't go to the DMV here and change your American to a Chinese. You have to take the Chinese test, okay? And it's 100 questions, and you need to score a 90% or better in order to pass. But you really don't need to drive here. You can get, like I said, a car service, you can get taxis, you know. But if you want to drive, you're going to have to take the test. Now, I don't recommend this unless you're planning on staying for an extended period of time and you want to buy a car. I'm going to stay here forever, so this year I'm going to get my license, buy a cheap car, and I'll have that. But just remember, you got to take the test. Don't drive in China without it, because driving here is crazy compared to the U.S. And every day I go outside walking around in a cab, and it still amazes me how crazy the drivers are here. So if you're driving or if you're in a car, be prepared, be on the lookout, just be ready. You're crossing the street, they will just go, okay? I've been on sidewalks and taxis have driven up on, one tire up on the sidewalk and almost hit me. And 2 Decembers ago, December 2016, I'm walking home from school, cross the street at the crosswalk, and a car plows right into me, probably 30, 35 miles an hour, hits me in my hip and my butt, back of my leg. I flip over the hood of the car, land, and they kept going and made the turn before I could get up and get their license plate or whatever, and I got hit by a car. They have no, I'm not going to say they have no common sense when it comes to driving, but from an American point of view, it's like you just said, here's a car key to a maniac that's never driven a car. That's what it feels like. Okay, so be careful, and be on the lookout if you're walking through the streets here or driving or in a car. Just be prepared that they're going to come to a screeching halt half the time they stop in cars. They ride too close, they cut through. I mean, it's nuts. So just be prepared for that. Hopefully this will give you a little bit more insight and knowledge on how to get around in China. I'm actually leaving for Hong Kong in the next couple days, so I will try to post a video from Hong Kong and maybe give you guys some tips. It's one of my favorite cities in the whole world. Great food, it's lots of fun. So I will give you guys all a how-to on how to have fun in Hong Kong and how to get around on the metro or the train or the ferry or taxis or whatever. And we'll talk about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and my girlfriend Sandy will be in probably the next 1 or 2 before I head for Hong Kong. But we'll talk about a lot of other stuff. And remember, if you guys have questions, email me at chinaconsulting@mail.com or send a message down below through the comments. And I hope to talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Goodbye.